Middleborough has in town government. Are there any, what differences are there? What might there be that we have that you haven't managed before?
I don't think anything.
So you managed to...
There's an electric light department here. I am the manager of the light department in Mansfield. I know you have a manager here. So you have a municipal light plant. We have a municipal light plant. I'm proud of that light plant. It's a good plant. We also have a regional sewer group. You know, it's owned by Mansfield right now, and we're moving towards a regional authority to operate that in the future contract. We have a water department, and we have a wastewater department. So actually I have structured that because I have those types of authorities in Mansfield where I created divisions within the Department of DPW. We have highway, we have public building special projects, we have water, and we have wastewater. Water and wastewater are enterprise accounts because they're driven by utility, and they're a little different than the 164 that operates light departments. Light departments have a different procurement process. I understand those operations very well, and I don't think there's anything here, including the issue of growth. And one of the things that I would like to also say is that I like working on projects. I like working on large projects. I've worked on large projects in the past, very successfully. I think the casino is probably one of your largest projects you're going to have in this community for years to come. There needs to be a linkage between your community and the casino project, and that casino needs to be built in a way that supports the town and does not take away from the town. And I think that that can be done. And I've worked on those types of projects in the past. I think in Blackstone we built a power plant, and the power plant people wanted to make sure that they had the same tax rate. They didn't want the tax rate to go up. They didn't care if it went down, but they wanted to go up. So they wanted, in their 20-year agreement, they wanted that same tax rate. I was the first one to sign that agreement because I knew what was going to happen. I knew that once they came in and they were providing all of this revenue, we worked out a payment in lieu of tax agreement that resulted in approximately $52 million over 20 years. And I knew that once that tax shift, they would come onto our tax rolls, they would become about 35 or 40% of that tax rate. So what happened was the tax rate went down. They didn't understand that, but they kept paying the same tax rate they paid when they first came here, and they were happy until they figured out that the tax rate would drop. So they wanted to renegotiate. They wanted to expand their plant, and the Blackstone Board of Selectmen asked me to come back and help them with that, and I did.
Mr. Chairman, I just have two more questions.
Okay.
May I continue?
Please.
Okay. There was a president, and I don't remember which one it was, and I'm paraphrasing it wrong, that said there's no permanent allies, there's just permanent issues or directives. We've been accused by some of our fellow communities of looking out for our own best interest and with no regard for theirs.
Sure.
Talk to me about how you balance that in any scenarios that you've been involved in, doing what's right for the town, yet working cooperatively with your surrounding communities.
What you're asking us to, have we ever had any win-win situations where we've been able to work cooperatively with surrounding communities and yet your community benefit as well, the community?
I'm not necessarily saying it's a win-win. I mean, sometimes you have to do what's right for you, even if it's not necessarily in the best interest of somebody else, but it's well communicated. I don't want to put any parameters on it. I just like to understand how you've worked with your fellow communities and still kept foremost in your mind that you represent the betterment of the town that you're working for.
Well, first and foremost, my mission is to move Middleborough forward in a positive direction, whatever that direction is. That's my responsibility. My responsibility is to the residents of this community, to the Board of Selectmen, to the boards and committees that comprise local government. That's my first and foremost loyalty, my first and foremost responsibility. Beyond that, I think that if there are opportunities to work cohesively with other communities in a joint purchase arrangements, as we have here in, we have in Mansfield for purchasing supplies, we purchase with other communities, and we purchase paper at a ridiculously low price because we have the opportunity to purchase with 23 other communities in a joint purchase arrangement. You already participate in your health care costs being purchased with 19 other communities, Southeast Regional Health Group. In Mansfield, we have this regional authority that we're trying to create with, that we supply sewer to Foxborough in Norton, in Mansfield. We are looking towards creating a regional authority that will still benefit Mansfield, reduce our costs for our expansion, and yet reduce the costs for future expansions in Foxborough and Norton for sewer. So we've created those opportunities. I am all in favor of looking at regional opportunities that benefit all communities and yet do not detract from Middleborough or do not detract from Mansfield. Recently, we had this a Superfund site, Hathaway-Patterson site, that we're on the funding list, and we're going to get funding to clean up that site. It's a Superfund site. The town took it by eminent domain, and because we took it by eminent domain and there's no business entity that's responsible for its cleanup, Mansfield is able to go to the Superfund money, pot of gold, so to speak, and get it cleaned up, and that's what we're going to do. So, but Foxborough wants to build on their side of that Superfund site a parking area for their residents to come to our train station. And we also have a train station in Mansfield, and I built a new, over my tenure, I built a new train station in Mansfield, which was on the books for 15 years before I came. So we got that built. And they want to have their commuters park in the, so we supported that effort because anything that gives their population the ability to park and access to train station is good for Mansfield. So it created a win-win in the sense that they were able to get some funding from the state or the federal government to build the parking lot, and that's how they're going to cap their portion of the Superfund site with, and we're going to have ours cleaned up. Some of it cleaned, taken away, and some of it retained on-site and capped. So I have worked on those types of projects in the past and would look for opportunities to do that here as well.
I would have more if we have time, but last question. I appreciate the level of respect that you show to the position as you come today and the demeanor that you present. But in Middleborough, we're regular folks. You know, if we weren't having this meeting today, we'd probably all have dirt under our fingernails because we'd be out in the garden or cutting the grass or whatever. So we take our own trash to the sidewalk and do our own work.
We do that in Mansfield.
Talk to us about, you know, how you engage with the community outside of a suit.
Oh.
Something else on, not just outside of your suit.
Yeah, I would have to have something else on, yes. I would hope that would be the case.
That was a metaphor. Tell me how you interact with the citizenry.
Well, every Saturday morning, I don't know if you have a recycling center here, but every Saturday morning I'm usually down at the recycling center looking through the, you know, the trash. Sometimes I take some of it home with me.
This isn't how you close your budget gaps, is it? Bottles?
Well, you